And I did promise Hannah I'd play the whole thing this week. So I did. All right. Welcome, everybody. So thank you for coming along again tonight. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. You don't have to be muted tonight. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but you don't have to be muted. So we're going to be doing some interactive stuff this evening, just to be a little bit different to what we've been doing in the previous weeks. And we're going to be doing some quizzes. Now, these things aren't tests. They're not exams, so don't get scared of them. I'm just kind of curious about what you've picked up during the meetup series.
The winner gets a ticket to Connect Live 2020.
I think you'd be pretty lonely. And naturally enough, we've got some special guests because we can't do 8 quizzes and not have some special guests because, you know, they're probably get boring. So we've got one talking about Google Photos and we've got one talking about street photography, but I won't tell you which one's which. And get that scared look off your face, and Andy, you haven't forgotten anything. It's all right. All right, so let's look at some photos from people last week, and you'll notice this week I remembered to put their names on them. So this first one I picked is from Nita BC, and I particularly like this one because she's used the light to make the crystal shine from behind, so she's lit it up with backlighting. Is Nita on?
Yeah, Paul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your image?
They have those, what are those LED lights, small lights which go into that decanter. So I've got 2 sets of those and they look so pretty. So I wanted to, actually I copied what you had done, if you remember, with your bottle and your and your wife's bottle. So I thought, why not? Because it's the same here. The right one is my husband's bottle and the left one, the decanter, is mine.
Cool.
So I said, okay, let's try that. And it came out pretty well, I thought, at least. I'm glad you liked it. And Paul, we've really missed your comments over the last 2 weeks. You must be very busy.
Yeah, I know. I've been a bit slack. I apologize for that. There's been a bit to do. So what you're saying is the right-hand bottle is your husband's bottle.
Yeah.
So why don't you take his bottle and empty it into your decanter, and then he can have his bottle and you can have the shippers.
I'm
It's a great call. That's a great idea.
No, I'm basically an LIIT girl. So basically, I wouldn't want that. I would prefer my LIT.
Well, yeah, they're low voltage DC. They'll still work in the whiskey. Oh, well, on to the next one. So this one's by, and I hope I get this right, Devansh Jain. I'm not sure if I saw
He's not
him.
here.
No, he hasn't come in
He's
today.
not here.
But it looks like he's had a little bit of a go at some light painting, which is cool, with what looks like a sparkler. They're always fun. They're good fun to do with light painting. So if he comes in, we'll get him to talk about it. And the next one, this one didn't quite make it into the album because she found out about the album after I closed it. So Yuliia, I think you're here. Do you want to tell us something about your image?
Yeah, just sorry I wasn't in time because it just have lots of relocation and no access to internet or some PCs. So at that place, I didn't have much choice. So I got a glass and there was some kind of Christmas lights there. And it had different regimes. So I just put regime that the color, the lights of some color were changing. They were coming sequentially, like reds, then red changed into green, and so on. So I just put that regime and did a couple of pictures.
Cool. I just saw a Wadey's face pop up in the corner then. I've never seen a serious look on that girl's face until now. Ah, cool. All right, off we go. So today we're going to play 8 short quizzes. Might have stolen Adrian's idea. And the way it's going to work, it's a little bit like musical chairs. So most of the quizzes are very short, less than a couple of minutes. There's one that's a little bit longer. And you can take part if you want to. You don't have to. I will post the link into the chat. This is for the first one. Hopefully you can all see the chat. I'm sorry for the multiple announcements today, by the way. It told me it couldn't send it, and then I found out later it did. So the first one's in there. So I'll get you guys to open that form, and then I'll start playing the music. Hopefully you can all find it.
Oh, multi-choice. That means you can get an answer really quickly.
They are multi-choice, yes. I did tell you it'd be easy. Because this is trying to understand what people have picked up and what they haven't, which will help me with the workshops in the future, but also help you guys to know what to research. So I'm going to start the music for number one now.
True. That's very true.
Oh, God, he's turned into a unicorn again. Oh, you see you've got some more advanced filters tonight.
This one is so realistic. It looks like it's actually there in real life.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right, well, let's start the music. So this one's only 1:45, and let's see how you go in 1:45. Five seconds to go. Nice pen placement there, Adrian. Fifteen seconds. Seconds. I lied, it's now. So everybody get it finished in that short time frame? Cool. All right. So yes. I am now going to try and present the results of that form. So let's see what happens. How do people think they felt about that one?
I thought it was good. I like that it's so easy to calculate because it's just multiple choice. It just goes really quick.
Yep, cool. And they're not always B, just for the record. I once had someone tell me if you sit an exam with at least 100 questions in it, if you answer B to everything, you'll probably pass.
Interesting. Well, it depends how many options there's just A, B, because then maybe that might be right.
Okay, so the first one, when were the first consumer digital cameras available? Looks like we got about a half and half 1980s to 1990s. It was actually a thing called the Casio QX10. And I bought one of those.
I love the Casio QX10.
Yeah, it was a whole 300 pixels wide. Not even 320, 300. Well, in the next one, nearly everybody got that one right. Is film still used? That's pretty cool. Yes, definitely is. All over the place. And it's probably... And it's growing in popularity for photography again too. With lots of people going into home developing again.
I guess they've got time now thanks to COVID.
Yes. And what is the most popular kind of camera for local guides? Yes, the mirrorless and phone. Very much so.
Why would you combine them? You could have actually made that like 4 options, like DSLR, mirrorless, phone, and then not sure.
Yeah, why not? The mirrorless camera and the phone are pretty much the same thing.
No, I mean, like there's a standalone mirrorless, and then
Yep. So that one went pretty well. Now, was that time frame too long or not long enough? Just so I know for the next ones. Do I make the next ones the same or do I cut them short? So some of the next ones have got a few more questions in them and they get a little bit longer. So people went pretty well with that one. Are we ready for another one?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, then. I better paste the link into the chat. Almost forgot to do that before I started the music. Wouldn't that have been funny? Come on, let me click on it. Okay, there's the form in the chat now.
With the quizzes, is it a cumulative quiz or it's just individual?
No, they are individual.
Okay, cool.
And I can tell everybody how they went at the end if you want in the recap, or maybe I won't do that because people won't want to see if they got it wrong.
Oh, also, you didn't ask us for names in the quizzes, so that means that you can't tell.
That is actually true. No, I actually can't tell. I turned that off because I don't really want to know people's names because that would be collecting your information and I don't really want to do that. There is one form at the end where I actually will deliberately be collecting your information though. Sort of. I found a way to do it without having to collect your information. Even I can hack forms. All right, so this form you get 2 minutes 26 and I assume you've already started, so off we go. If you finish early, just say so in the chat, and if lots of people have finished, I'll stop the music.
There's a bit of a nice reference there to Jess.
I've got 4 people who've got all their questions in so far. Welcome, Anshuk. Click on the link in the chat, please. Got 6 sets of responses in. No worries, Anshuk. It's all good. Just click on the link in the form and take the first quiz. It's the second quiz, actually, but it's the first for you. So we've got 13 in now, halfway. God, I'm so pleased everyone's getting the last one right.
LGBTQ people take the best photos.
They sometimes take the most entertaining photos.
Actually, the real answer is people whose names begin with the letter P.
Isn't it everybody? All right, then how did we go?
Actually,
You said it had tricky questions with mirrors.
If the whole group, if they passed this test, if everyone got above 50%, I'm going to put on a special hat.
They have.
Let's see the scores. Let's see the scores.
So on the first question, we see it sets the exposure right for the thing. It does do that. And it sets the focus on the thing. It does do that. But it also does both at the same time.
Oh, okay. It's going on.
I'm sad. No one picked the crowdsource answer.
That would be a reference to Jesse. Jesse would be happy about that.
Oh, I play the crowdsource too.
I only started playing the crowdsource last week because of Jessie. She got me.
If you get into it, I hit. What was it last Monday? I think I got level 9 on Monday morning, and by Monday evening I was level 10.
I don't know. I just feel like it's not as like photographic as maps. It's not as creative as map.
Oh, you can add photos.
Oh, okay.
So in our different camera types, lots of people ticked the ones they recognised. Pretty close to everybody got all of them, so that's good. What kind of camera uses a moving mirror? And people picked the SLR and DSLR. I think only one person got that wrong. So a mirrorless camera doesn't have a mirror. That's why it's called a mirrorless camera. And what is the most common camera technology today? Does not use a mirror is right. Because we count the phones. And there are billions and billions and billions of them. I bet all the camera manufacturers wish they had that market. And what is the mirror for? Directs the light to the photographer's eye and then moves out of the way for the sensor and film. So more people got that right than wrong. So that's pretty good. And I'd love to know who ticked so the photographer can check their makeup. Well done. And we've talked about the tapping. And we've talked about who we think makes the best photos.
You know what? I just think that I feel like LGBTQI people do take awesome photos. I feel like that's another very solid option.
Well, you never know. There's one option I left off there that I thought after I put the form up, and I thought I should have put local guides in the list, and you could have all ticked that. Okay. So, you ready for another one? Yes, there is 8 of these, but we will take some breaks, I promise. And we'll talk about some other stuff. We won't just do quizzes. All right, so let me grab the link for quiz number 3. Pop that in the chat. Everybody a chance to open up the form. I'm glad this is working. At the last second, I had to share all of this stuff to my G Suite account because even though I got in before this started 2 hours ago and I made sure that from G Suite I could see the stuff from my own real account where my local guide stuff is, when I started the real meet, do you think I could? No. Bloody G Suite. All right, let's start the time. You get 3 minutes for this one. This music all comes from a website called bensound.com, by the way. I use it quite a lot for my videos because it's all free.
Get points! To get points!
I know what question he's doing. This one really is long, isn't it? All these looks of concentration. Roberto, I love that you've put up a picture of yourself.
Where are those donuts from?
Yes, you might have noticed that, Jesse. Well done. You can go backwards and fix them too, I think. Oh, we've got one person who's finished. That was quick. Still got half the time left. Oh, not quite. 2 people are in now. one of the ones that's a little bit contentious is, it's a hard question anyway. Got 11 people finished.
Going for the toilet paper haul. Honest.
How's your supermarket going, Ananda?
It's okay. All selected toilet paper.
I'll stop that one a bit early. Seems most people have finished. No, Devansh has joined us.
Okay.
So how are we going? I've got 17 responses in. Is anyone still doing it? New? All right. Let's look at the questions. We've got 19 responses in now. Well done. Looks like pretty much everybody's getting into these. Now, what we might do, I did see that Devansh has joined us, so we might just really quickly, I'll present again, and I will show the workshop and go back. Someone remember we're up to quiz 3. Where is it? There it is. Devansh, do you want to talk to us about your image?
Hi everyone. So this image I actually took on a Diwali night in 2018. I had newly bought my OnePlus 60, and there was a contest going on with OnePlus that they wanted people to write 60 in some very artistic way. So I actually claimed it using the light painting, using the Diwali sparklers basically. So it was something 10 seconds short that I actually took.
Cool. Do you know, I think you guys have the most holidays in the world. All right, I'll just bring that back to the right place. And what we're doing quiz number 3, weren't we? And in the meantime, someone else has got their answers in for that one, so well done. And quiz 3, let's just have a look. So just for Devansh's benefit, since you're just popped in, we're doing a series of quizzes. You can look back in the chat and do the previous ones if you would like to.
A series of quizzes.
I'll still use the output in the recap. So if we look at, pick the statement that most reflects the Google Maps mission. So you might think back to when our lovely Queenslander Justine gave us a presentation, and one of her slides had the Google Maps mission, which I was relatively impressed about because she managed to get a picture of it on the screen at Connect. I didn't think to do that, and I can't find it published anywhere else. But nearly everybody's actually picked to find the places worth visiting and the things worth doing. That's it exactly.
But I feel like the person who wrote the find shops that had toilet paper is also correct right now. I feel like subjectively right now they are also correct.
Well, that's possible. It's interesting
and
actually because
piece is a good one as well.
Out of our 3 biggest local brands, Aldi have put restrictions on and they have heaps of toilet paper. Woolworths put restrictions on, heaps of toilet paper. Coles, no restrictions, no toilet paper. For people who are wondering, the state that Max and Ananda and I live in has had a bit of an increase in numbers. It's doubling every day. Yay. So based on the mission, what kind of photos and videos do you think belong on maps? Places you can visit? Definitely. Products at places you can visit? Absolutely. And food at places you visit? Sure. And activities at places you visit? And no one picked selfies or your house. Well done. I did actually report a local guide today who had lots and lots of pictures of him and his sister at their house, and that was it. They were all over India, but they were all in one place, and it was only about 5 photos. Oh well, some people make it too obvious. Is quality important? Yeah, of course it is. Well done. But is it who's it important to? There's a good question. Is it important to you?
Welcome to my house.
Or is it important to Max?
My house is where the local guides are at. We take photos at my house.
Well, that one certainly was. So this next one, quality is important choose the kinds of photos that you should not add. So this one's a little bit trickier. And a few people have thought that you shouldn't put on a photo of a burger. I think you should. I think that's fine. I wouldn't have a problem putting on a photo of a burger. Now, if you've made the burger at home, maybe not. But if you've gone and bought a burger, sure. A video of a roller coaster.
You're right. There is a big difference there, Paul. There is a big difference.
Yeah, there is a bit. I think putting on a video of a roller coaster ride at a theme park when you're sitting in the front car would be awesome. I'd want to watch that. What else have we got?
Lots of people in the comments they read that question, that burger one wrongly.
Oh, that's quite possible. Sometimes I write the English a little bit badly, even though it's my first language, because I'm an Australian. We don't actually know how to use English. We just make it up. People, I think just about everybody picked that you shouldn't put on pictures of your children or the pictures of the food that your grandmother made. Some people thought.
Hold up. I just want just a quick one. What if she lives at home and it's a home restaurant? It's like if she owns a bed and breakfast, and
if it's a place that you can visit and it has regular business hours and it's allowed to be on maps, sure.
And your grandma cooks delicious food.
Could be
part of it.
You know, there's plenty of yayas and nonyas working in restaurants out the back. I don't see any reason why you couldn't put a picture of toilet paper up if it's topical, and it certainly is at the moment. And a pizza you're eating at home, it was delivered from a store, yeah, that's fine. I've got lots of them. No, they're fine, because you have actually got a product from someone. And whose photos can you upload? Everyone got that right. Yay!
Woo!
And ask people to pick digital file formats. Oh, no one clicked on llama. Poor llama.
Oh.
I actually had a bet with someone that someone would choose llama. I'm going to be sad telling Megan she won. Megan says hi, by the way, and it's about 4 a.m. for her. That's why she's not here. Why is JPEG different to RAW? JPEG is lower quality. Yeah, it definitely is. They are the same picture. So it was a little bit of a tricky question because the JPEG and the RAW do represent the same data. They represent the same image, just in different ways. One of them, the JPEG, every time you save it, you lose a little bit more quality in the image.
I thought there was going to be a llama. I thought llamas are a real good file. I don't understand why people are discriminating against perfectly good llamas. We're having a great time on Google Maps.
Now you know why Max is here.
I take great photos, and I don't want anyone telling me that I can't take great photos. I'm the best format around.
Hey, Max, I want you to Google no llama no.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
And is it okay to edit your photos for maps? Most of you got that one right with just basic crops and tweaks to the image. You certainly can edit them. That's okay. Just try and keep it a bit natural.
You can't actually edit it if it's a llama file, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, llama files are read-only.
Read-only.
Yes, otherwise they spit at you. Or is that camels? Maybe that's camels. That's very disturbing, Max. Some people thought about the exploding color pop and the watermark. It is okay to add watermarks, but they need to be on an edge. They need to not be distracting, and they need to take up, I think it's less than 10% of the image space. And if it's a 360, the watermark has to be in the nadir or the what's the other one? The zenith.
Zenith.
Yeah, so they either have to be right down the bottom or right up the top where no one ever looks.
Woo!
And if you're taking 360s with the roof of your car, it's a really cool way to advertise other people's businesses. Must be okay because a local guide got away with it. It wasn't me. Anyway, should you back up your photos? One person said no. The person who said no, would you mind?
You can't back up a llama file. You can't do it. It's bad. Bad file. You gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, I'd suggest yes, you definitely should back up your photos. And if you're using something like a phone, whether it's a Apple phone or an Android phone, doesn't matter. You've got Google Photos on both, and you've got iCloud as well on the Apple if you want to use that.
No, don't use iCloud. It's terrible. Use Google Photos.
Yeah. I don't really care what technology people want to use, but I like Google Photos because it does other stuff,
Yeah.
which we'll probably find out about soon, won't we, Max?
Oh, well, I just got the new
Oh,
Maps
give it
update.
away.
I got the new Maps update.
Yeah. And I don't, so I'm making him.
Oh, let me. Actually, I'll show it on my screen.
Oh, you'll get there with there's a little bit less certainty about whether you should fill the frame or not. So generally, yes, you should fill the frame with the thing that you're trying to take a picture of. So whether it's a shop on the outside, you try and show only that shop if you can. You'll get a little bit of extra. It's hard to avoid it, but some.
Have a look at that.
Yeah, we're all going to be looking at it soon. So that's the new Google Photos interface where you can look at a heat map of all of your photos across the map. I don't have it yet.
Only the good people have it. Only the good boys and girls.
Yeah, I've obviously been naughty. I haven't had a proper photos update for ages. I used to actually help in the photos team in the same way I help in the local guides team, but then the guy that ran it left and they didn't want to talk to all the people who helped anymore.
Oh, what?
That's okay. So, in the sample image I gave you, this image is a bit cluttered. Is it okay to share it? Everybody's picked yes, definitely, because it's representing that store. If the store's really like that, people should know that. Now, this next one, which was the picture of the truck driving down the street, and should I find organic recyclers and add it to their maps entry? I'd say no, and kudos to the person who picked yes, it shows how ugly their truck is. But yeah, a few people have actually thought that they should do it because it highlights their brand. So generally, I'd say no, but there's probably no real hard reason why you wouldn't do it if you wanted to, because it is actually showing that company's image off a little bit. And the rule of thirds. So this one, most of you picked up the right thing in here. It says you should divide your image into a grid of thirds. Where is the best place to put the most interesting part of the image? So the most interesting part, if it's a picture of a cat, would be the cat's face. If it's a human, it's usually their left eye that you go for. No idea why it's their left eye, but everybody says that. If it's some mountains, thank you, Ansel Adams, then put it across boundaries and where the grid lines intersect. So if it's a really big thing like a mountain, you're probably just going to put that across one of the boundaries. If it's an interesting thing that's small, try and put that on a grid intersection. Now, it's not a hard and fast rule, so you can sort of ignore the rule of thirds somewhat, but you'll probably find that in your photography, you're always doing it regardless of whether you think you are or not. I've seen people on various forums, particularly when G+ was alive, because people were particularly argumentative there, and that was why it was fun, who said, I don't follow the rule of thirds. I think it's bullshit. You look at their photos and every single one of them does. But that's okay. Okay,
so I have been asked to do, while you guys have been doing this, I've got a bonus quiz for you right now. Paul, you need to do this as well. So I'm going to put this into the chat. It's a very simple quiz, but it's a bonus quiz. This one's going to be a good one. So everyone bring up the bonus quiz. You only have 1 minute to answer.
Did you whip this up while we were doing this?
Maybe. Okay, let me see. I got one response.
I'm going to pick the one with your wife in it because at least that's more interesting.
I got 3 responses. Who? 4 responses.
That's a great option you had, Max. Enjoyed the quiz. Wow.
There's no wrong answer.
Obviously, that's your photo. How could it be a wrong answer?
Oh well, and guess what? It's actually Max's turn now, so I'm gonna play his little meetup video first because it was a fun.
Wait, I'm gonna before we do that, I'm just gonna give the answer to the quiz. I'm gonna share the response.
It's anything but Max.
Sorry.
It's anything
Max,
but Max.
The one with exclamation is excited Max, or and the other one is normal Max, who is also excited.
Yes, well picked up, Isha. There's no such thing as non-excited Max.
Okay, so I'm sharing it here. Can you, Paul? Can you let me share for a second?
You want me to stop presenting, don't you? There you go.
Okay, so is that up on the screen?
And let the record show at this point, this is where it went to the dogs.
It's actually, it's a split. It is 17. Yeah, so it's 50% each way. Both of them are the right best local guide. So thank you so much for your support. I accept this. I accept this honor. I accept this honor on behalf of Max's Worldwide, all the local guides. Thank you so much for this momentous honor. I really appreciate it.
I think you should all get onto Connect now and post in how to. I want to report a local guide. Please contact me. So we're up to Max's little thing about photos, but I'm going to play his meetup video first, because even he'll be quiet now.
Full screen, please. Woo!
I will.
Yeah, so that was my second ever local guide meetup that I organised.
And he managed to organise it as 2 meetups in one, because he brought in another little group that.
yeah, it was almost 3. Yeah, I brought in some so to be, I think there were 3 or 4 local guides, mostly my friends, and then 3 or 4 live-in people. And I just brought them all together to have a get together, because it's a great way to meet lots of people, and it was a great food crawl. We visited 3 restaurants, and I think the next one will be in December. I'll do one in December. Probably going to go to Chadstone.
Oh, get lost in the maze.
Yeah, or maybe
3 hours to park at Chadstone.
Yeah, well, there's lots of parking at Chadstone, but we still have to figure out all the logistics. But hopefully, when at the moment you can't have dining in groups of more than 6. So once that is finished, I might investigate doing it. But I mean, I'd love to know in the comments, like, if you ever organised a meetup, like, what your meetup experiences? Because I think they're a great way to connect with people and have a great time.
Oh, absolutely they are. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with inviting your friends to a meetup. I tell everybody that's organising meetups, one of the things you should always do is invite at least one friend, because that way, if no one turns up, you've still got a friend there. You still have a fun day.
That's actually a good point. Although I did really enjoy Paul, I was helping Paul with his first supporter meetup, which is where Google gives you a bit of money for merchandise and food. They did a pilot of that. I'm not sure if that's continuing, but it was fun. I enjoyed the one that I was part of.
They've done 7 or 8 of them, I think, but it's all on hold at the moment.
Yeah, COVID pause.
Yep. So you're going to tell us about the new features of Google Photos, I think.
Oh, yeah. Let me bring it up.
I knew you forgot.
I'm going to share. I'm just going to present.
Go for it.
So.
Meanwhile, I'll get 1 or 2 lists of people.
I'm just going to put this link to this article in the chat. But I was actually read about this in a great tech website called The Verge. But there's a new redesign of Google Photos, and the main thing is that there used to be a section here called For You, and that's been depreciated, and they're putting in a new places map, so you can see where you're going, all of your great photos on the map. That'll be a really cool feature.
He reads this article and he gets hold of me and he goes, "Have you got this feature?" And I go, "No, but I've read about it." And he goes, "Well, I have."
I was so excited. They're making the faces bigger, which should be good, and more categories. I think it's going to be a good update. The past stuff is going to be the stories from the past. Memories are going to have a little bit of extra revamp. Oh, excuse me, sorry. And it's just gonna be. It's a small update, but it's a good update. I think it's going to be nice. I think it's going to make it a bit easy to use, a bit more of a great way to remember the good stuff. So it's now rolling out to Android, iOS, but not Palm Pilots because they don't exist anymore.
Yes, they do. They run Android.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, you ruined my joke. Shut up.
Well, mine has definitely changed, but I still don't have that.
Has anybody else looked at the update or has? Oh yeah, new logo. Oh, I forgot to say we got the new logo.
Yeah, we did.
Let's put up the new logo. New Google Photos logo. It's probably the most important part of the update.
You know what it looks like? Where is it? Is it still in here? It is still in here. Hang on a tick.
Do you want to present it or should I? Oh!
They stole it from local guides.
So let me share the new one. Home tab.
Local guides, photos. Local guides, photos.
Yeah, so this is it here. You can see it in the middle of the screen. Oh, am I sharing it yet? Yeah. Yeah. So there's the logo.
See, it looks exactly like that.
But it did look like that before.
Yeah, they made it round.
I don't know.
That's like the old logo.
What do you think of the new logo? What do you think of the new logo? I don't really like it. The old logo.
I don't mind. It looks like a boat propeller now. Rainbow apple slices, says Ollie. Fair enough.
Yeah, new logo.
Someone really liked your T-shirt, Max.
Thank you. Yeah, my wife got it for me on the internet.
She doesn't like you, does she?
She's the best. She's the best wife.
All right then. Sounds like you're kind of done.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Short but sweet. There's only so much you can talk about that particular thing.
Yeah, this is true. It is an app with an enormous number of features, but most of us know what they are, so it makes it a little bit difficult, doesn't it? So, thank you, Max.
Saying Paul's joined.
And guess what? It's quiz number 4, and this is another short one. I'm sure everybody's pleased to know it's another short one. And we'll do a couple more, and then we'll go on to our other guest. So here comes the link. So once you get that open, I'll start the music. There's only 2.5 minutes on the music on this one, so I'll do it the same way I did before. If everybody finishes it, I'll close the music off a bit early. Hopefully you're actually enjoying this. It is supposed to be fun. Or at least amusing. All right, I'll start the music off. That was a bit loud, wasn't it? And let's see how people go. There's no really complex answers in this one. 2 minutes is probably too long for it, actually. Everybody's studiously going through their answers. Even Max. Oh, one person's in. People are struggling on the lens types. People are doing pretty well on the brightness. General purpose lens question, people are doing pretty well there. Oh, no one's choosing llama again, Max.
No! Why?
And everybody's doing well on leading lines too. This is good. So I've got 16 responses in now. I really must tell Google how to do maths though, because judging by the answers, most people should be getting more points than this thinks they're getting.
Yeah, I feel like I got the wrong score.
Oh.
I feel like there might have been a user error here, though. I think it might have been maybe.
We've got 16 responses in now. I'll wait for a couple more because we've got 26 people in the chat.
I'm actually, I'm currently seeing the field of llamas. I think applicants going.
Well done, Jesse. Look out, Max. There's a llama behind you.
Ah! I'm running! Ah! It's catching up to me!
I really wish I could see the rest of you. Well, that's it for the music. So let's flip over to the form results. Is everybody ready? I think we've got 18 responses in. So while I start to present it, might get a couple more come in. And we want quiz number 4. I just thought of a way I might be able to see you all. If I join this meetup myself, actually, no, I won't do that because it might do horrible things to the audio. I was just thinking I could join up from my other machine, on my other session. Right, let's run through it. And I am presenting, hopefully I'm presenting quiz 4. It looks like I am. So we got a little bit of a selection across here. So the brightest in the F numbers. So brightest is the biggest hole, smallest number. Biggest hole, smallest number. So there's a couple of people picked F16, which isn't very bright. That's a very, very dark one. That's a very small hole. It's very disturbing, Max. Be funnier if there was one. But most of you have picked F4, F2.8, and F1.2. So F1.2 is definitely the brightest one there. But 2.8's probably one that most people would have access to with their lenses, and some people would only have access to F4 or better. So that's very disturbing, Max. He has the googly eyes. That's pretty good. Most people have gotten that really well done. So the best lens for general purpose photography, majority of people, we've just had another person come in then, has picked zoom lens. And yeah, I'd say it is. So no one picked an expensive one, which is good. Because you don't actually need expensive glass to get decent results. You can get decent results with anything. So more about what you do than what the glass does. A few people picked primes, and that can be a personal choice. Some people prefer prime lenses because they are sharper. The 35mm one is the same view that you see with your eyes. So your eyes are effectively a 35mm frame of view, or field of view, if you like. So I personally go with a zoom because it's versatile. But yeah, it's not really wrong to say primes. So in choosing all of the, finally some people picked llama. Yay!
Woohoo!
Now, telescope was a little bit of a trick question because it's kind of a lens, but it's kind of not. It's more of a device, but yeah.
You tricked me. You tricked me, Paul.
I
You
did.
were such a great local guide, and then you tricked me.
Did you pick llama?
Maybe. Maybe.
And nearly everybody picked what it means by leading lines, and essentially that it's the lines in the image, and in this case it was the cars on the sides of the road. They lead you on a journey through the scene into the distance. So in the distance of this image, there's just some fog, so you don't really see anything up there. Sometimes you might use leading lines to lead you towards something in particular. There might be a scenic thing that you like, or there might be a person or whatever, and you can use that to focus people's attention on them. So it was really good. You guys should be proud of yourselves. You're doing awesomely well. Now I think we've got one more quiz before we go on to our next guest.
But before we do, I just want to say have a great night, everyone. I'm out of here. I'm going to look after my daughter.
It's Max's bedtime.
So I hope you all had a great time. I hope you all remember who's the best local guide. And I'll see you all later.
See you, Max. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Now we need someone to replace Max. All right. See you, Max. So going on to quiz number 5, I'll pop the link into the chat, and Google, being helpful, has already highlighted it for me. Look at that. It's very creepy what it does sometimes. Now, this one I think is, just trying to remember if this is a long one or a short one. Oh, it must be a long one. It's got 4 minutes of music. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Here it goes. This music sounds so much like some other music that would be copyright, but it's a little bit different to this, so it's not. I don't know why I gave this one 4 minutes. Just looking through the questions. No one's finished yet. Whoop, first person's in. At just 1.5 minutes, the first person's in. I didn't think it was as hard. 4 people are in. Yeah, the answers are looking pretty good too. Oh, the trick question's catching a few people. We've got 13 responses in now. I don't think we're going to get to our 4 minutes. We're not going to need it. $16 in. No one's answered cat door yet. There's no need for panic, Jesse. First thing Sunday morning, you do an exam. We've got 20 responses in, so how about I kill the music and we'll go over and present the outcome of quiz 5. If you're still going, that's okay. Keep going. So I think we've done pretty well here. So looking up at the top now that the presentation has started, 50% pass rate. Pretty good. So yes, it's the exposure triangle. I suppose the other two answers are a little bit tricky, and if you missed, I think it was week 5. That would be why it's quiz number 5, wouldn't it? See, I was slightly clever.
Oh.
So the exposure triangle it is. And ISO is a measure of what? Sensitivity of light. Yeah, definitely. So some people pick the amount of light. It's a little bit tricky. It is definitely the sensitivity to the light. So, and shutter speed is a measure of what? Everybody got that right. How long the camera exposes to the light. Well done.
No, the freak show.
And aperture Nearly everybody got the size of the hole that lets in light. No one chose cat door. So if Max was still here, someone would have chosen cat door. I do like the astronaut's answer, whoever did that. Oh, you've stopped looking serious now, Wadey. You had this really serious look on your face before. What is the depth of field? It's the range around the focus point that will be sharp. Well done. It's not the bokeh in the background, but if you've got a very shallow depth of field, you often get nice bokeh in the background. So yeah, a little bit of a trick question. Sorry. And in the question, is it the image a long or a short? It is a long exposure. It's nearly a minute, that one. In the short exposure, it would stop the movement completely and you'd see the waves that were cresting. So in this one, you can just see the path the waves took. And what kind of photo of the next one? I should have actually given a point for leading lines. Because yeah, it kind of is. It's a bit tricky, but it is a light planning photo. And you can see two different aperture settings, and people have correctly picked f2.8 and f4. So yeah, it actually is, I think it actually is f4 in that image from memory, from the day we did that. But 2.8 equally valid. And what is the major flaw with this image? The ship is going uphill. Well done. But yes, the sky is boring. It definitely is. Okay, good stuff. So I actually thought we were going off to another presenter now, but we're actually going off to quiz number 6, if I can find it. Oops, I need to go back to my workshop. Okay, so I will just put in the link to quiz 6 into the chat. Is it a long one or is it a short one? That's the question. Ooh, maybe it's a long one. 3 minutes 50. Off we go. If someone who finishes the quiz could grab some screenshots, that would be really good. I will give you an album to put them in. I made an album for tonight, but there's not one there. Oh well, I'll make a new one. Shared a link for if anybody who finishes the quiz who want to put in some screenshots of people, because I can't see everybody, I can only see 9 people. And I still love that Roberto's just got a picture of himself there. Just a painting. We've got 5 responses in now. It's going pretty well. Ooh, the blue hour people have struggled with. This one's a little bit more difficult, isn't it? Because it's one of the more advanced topics. Whoops, not time up, don't worry about it. Keep going. So we've got 11 responses in now. Looks like this is a bit of a harder one.
Subjective sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. I think on the questions around light, I think only 2 people have got them all by the looks of it. We've got 13 responses in now, 14. Do people want more time, or do you want to start going through it? We need someone like Max here.
Yep.
Adrian, you can be Max.
Need a funny hat.
I've got a funny hat around here somewhere. It's not that funny a hat, though.
Yeah, I like that.
It's really heavy. It's got too many badges on it. Got 17 responses in now.
I wonder what happens if I get this to fully focus. Oh, it does.
Yeah, it should. Your webcam should figure that one out.
You've got one of those, haven't you, Paul?
I do, but it's on my desk at work. And
Okay.
not this desk at work, the real work. So you'll be pleased to know one of the photo opportunities of Melbourne's opening up again. Puffing Billy is reopening in July.
Oh, excellent.
They're going to run one train to Menzies Creek and back, one train to Emerald with 2 crews, one there and one back, because that's all they're allowed to have exposure to each other for.
Oh, okay. And the seats will be socially distanced or not?
Yep, 10 people per carriage.
Okay.
That may turn out to be less, because if the dining in rules are seen to apply to them, then they'll only have 6. We've got 18 responses in now. We may as well start going through them, I guess, because it's probably most people who are going to put something in. So if we look at the detailed questions here, why is it scrolling all the way down there? So it looks like people did quite struggle with the light, and it's not really showing me the right way to show you those details. So that might be something we might cover a little bit. At the protest one, yeah, a few people thought I shouldn't photograph protesters because they might be angry. Protesters actually usually love you to photograph them. And they want to be seen. So generally speaking, they're pretty happy. I think if you went straight in on an individual, they might not like that so much. I kind of do that all the time though. So does Ananda.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the people are a bit dark, and that's because I was probably on aperture priority where I normally sit, and the camera is exposed for the bigger area of brightness instead of exposing on the people, which is what I would have wanted if I'd done it manually. And yes, the image is chaotic, but that's nothing wrong with that. That's just an element of protesting. It's just what protests are like. And the time before sunrise and just after sunset, nearly everybody got that that's blue hour. It is a cool color. And yes, it is usually cold, except in summer. It's 2 degrees when I got up this morning. Celsius, that is. So that's what, 34 Fahrenheit, I think. Something like that. Everybody got golden hour right. Well done. That's a really good time to take pictures. So I hope you all do. And in my shot there, nearly everybody got that was taken in golden hour. And you can tell it's golden hour because of the warm colors. So do you understand the difference between warm colors and cool colors? Warm colors are like these two, red and yellow. Cool colors, green and blue. Although green can be it's a little bit in the middle. And ticking the things that people think represent the best time of day. Everybody got the soft light ones right. Not many people picked hard light. A few. The no shadows, nearly everyone got that right. Half the people got blues right. Yeah, so that's before dawn. So pretty good answers there. That's nearly everybody's picking good answers. And for golden hour, yeah, that's pretty close to everybody picking good answers, actually. There's very few that were a little bit off the mark there. So in golden hour, you're not too likely to see blue light. Contrast is usually quite low. You're very unlikely to see a blown out sky unless you're shooting into the sun. Looking at morning, so yeah, some good answers there. A lot of people pick soft light for the morning. I suppose to some extent it could be. So I suppose I could give you a point there. Noon, people are picking, yeah, good answers. Nearly everyone's picked the good ones there. And late afternoon, yeah, there's some reasonable answers there. The light's starting to soften off by late afternoon. So soft light's probably a better answer than hard light. It is a bit subjective though, this one, as Ananda pointed out before. And looking at the golden hour, pretty good answers. And looking at the final one, after sunset, yeah, no shadows, soft light, yeah, it's good answers. Nearly everybody's got that one. So well done. And now it's time for our next special guest, but let me just flick back one slide so you don't know who it is when I start presenting. You can probably tell anyway because he's grinning. Yeah, now everybody's grinning. Now you can't tell anymore. So, our special guest is Ollie or Oliver. Either way. Anyway, he's excited. So I'll just play his Connect Live video. Now, like all of our Connect Live videos, they are just a little bit embarrassing. That's to be expected. But this is actually one of the better videos I've seen because it really carries Ollie's character well, and it carries the kinds of things that he's excited about with Local Guide. So this is a really good example of how to put a video together. And I can't speak for Google, but if I was looking at videos, this would go in my shortlist. So I actually know where Mission Beach is. How weird's that? Friends of mine have got a B&B there. Two guys I used to work with in Melbourne, they moved to Mission Beach and set up a B&B, and now I think they've got 3.
Really?
Yeah. So it's quite a growing industry for them.
Yes.
So are you going to present?
Yep.
Stop, and you can take it away. It's a seriously big smile, 80.
Can you see this?
Yes, we can. It's coming up now.
It's what do you see?
I see a screen that says Flickr, Instagram, Facebook, and Google Photos with the old logo.
Yes, yes. I think the old logo is better than the new one. And I got a start in it. Yeah, I just quickly show you these. These are the 4 major photo sharing websites. And just guess how many photos are sharing per day. I did some research, and the numbers are just amazing. So that's Flickr, 4 million photos per day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and for Instagram, it's 95 million per day.
66 million of which are memes.
Yeah, and that's the Facebook. And that's Google Photos. It's unbelievable. So a little bit about myself. I like to photo people. I like to look at human conditions and the state of mind of people. It's always amazed me if you do some observations on people. And that's all. Street photography is about people. You see them in the public places, and you take a photo and try to get most of it. Some people like landscape. Some people like fashion photography, beauty photography. For me, I really like to observe people. Not only on the street though. Street photography is easy to start, but it's very hard to get perfect, to get to the next level. That's like playing soccer, playing football. You know, a lot of people can play, but really you can tell the difference. So I'm gonna go through some of the photos I did for the last 10, 15 years. I did write a post about my photography journey at the Connect. So this is a photo I took at the local market. It was 15 years ago. There's a lot of them. This was taken with a 3 megapixel camera. You can see the depth of field. Try to catch the moment. And some sort of a mood and ambience. The special moments.
That one's cute.
Yeah, and this one is quite obscure as well. People are selling scarves, and this is a framing, and you wondered about the story. And this one is shooting from very low angle from the kid's eye level, and this you can see the label is on her nose. Some fun ones. This guy's checking the saw. Some seafood performers. Chips again. And this is a homeless person. And this someone, I think this is on a cruise. This is
sneaking off with other people's selfies is always a good way to do it.
Yeah. This is a kind of like a Comic-Con sort of events, pop culture. This is a market again. So this is a French Revolution, Bastille Day. So there some choir, and this is a cruise in San Francisco. Try to see tourists. And
tourists being tourists.
Yeah, and this is actually in Brisbane. There's a GOMA gallery of modern art in the Brisbane. This is a very interesting installation art from a guy called Cai Guoqiang. And this is a Disney music hall. And this is a Diwali. Diwali. This is another Diwali. So I like to see that different people. This is a Getty image. The Getty at in LA. This is a Brisbane GOMA again. Just people trying to take photos. Look at them. This is an international culture festival here somewhere a few years ago. This is one I posted on the Connect Road Walker. This one is in Los Angeles, Hollywood. This one is in China. Just different people. The guy is leaning there. The kids eating ice cream, and the guy just walked past. And this is some Indian wedding. This is this is at Gold Coast, one of the theme parks, I think, Dream World. This is
well done on that one.
Yeah, this is Easter show, somewhere Easter showground. This is again LA homeless people. This is one of the conference centers, some conference on kids. Just trying to find some interesting moments, some absurd thing. This is LA again. This is in London. Yeah, so I like to travel, and every time I travel, I try to get the most of it by taking some photos. This is a local swim Olympic pool, and this one was taken with an iPhone 6. This is
if you took a normal camera into the pool, you'd probably get thrown out pretty quick.
yes,
But no one cares if it's a phone.
Yeah, they do ask you. I did once, and they ask you, "Oh, what?" I said, "I take a photo of my son." This is a Santa Parade. Santa Parade. It's not a Santa Parade framing. You see, this is framing, and this is a Santa Parade. This juxtaposition. You see the image of different stuff, and try to catch the moment. This is, I think it's Italy. So Rome again. This is another Santa Parade. This is, I think it's Indian wedding. And this is San Francisco again. Homeless people again. And this is San Francisco again. Try to, street scene. San Francisco and quite sad. This is a gallery, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah, SF MoMA.
Yeah, SF MoMA. This is Shanghai. Shanghai again. Yeah, Shanghai. Shanghai again. Foreground. This is some kid's birthday party. And this is San Francisco again. This was some corporate events, try to catch movement. This was just some Auckland downtown. This guy is a town crier. And
the question is, does the girl think you're creepy or he is?
Yeah, he's just trying to look at him. This is Italy again. And this is downtown Auckland. So the billboard is always a good thing to catch up if you with people. Something funny always happens. Yeah. This is a zombie parade. It's a zombie parade. Zombie walk, not parade. Zombie walk.
Yep.
Yeah, zombie walk. So couple of my favorite photographers: Henry Cartier-Bresson, Steve McCurry, James Netry, and Alan Shearer. These are all my favorite photographers. I like to look at them. So you guys can check out their works. So here is my understanding of street photography. You take a photo in a public place with human elements, capture some special moments, some action, and try to get some interesting visuals, ambience, such as composition, scale, framing, lines, texture, color, light and shadow, foreground, background, etc. And the juxtaposition of different stuff that comes with some new meanings, and often funny, absurd, surreal, ridiculous, and be creative with positive, negative spaces. And also your photos can be a visual storytelling, a message, a mood. So how to do better? You have to see a lot of photos from others, the good ones. So when you take a photo, I always think of how others work, and your brain just quick scan of all the photos you've seen, and then you have to understand the basics and practice a lot. And you have to be patient. You have to be patient and stay there for some time.
Very patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. 90% of the shots in street, you just miss the moment that you saw.
Yeah. Happens all the time, and you have to be cheeky, to be brave. I like to do the shots first, and then ask if they see me. If they were gonna question me, I'm gonna say, "Oh, can I take a shot? Take a photo?" Otherwise, I just photo before I ask. And basically that's my presentation.
Yeah, cool.
Great.
Very good.
Oh, thanks for doing that, Ollie. You've picked some good moments there with those people, so well done.
Yeah.
But it is actually a very difficult art form, street
Yeah.
photography.
Yeah.
You need a degree of courage, and as you say, you need a fair bit of cheekiness.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you need to keep looking around all the time to try and pick situations that are happening. It is a lot of fun. You should check in your local area whether it's actually legal or not, because in some countries it's not. And in some countries it's legal to take the photo, like in Germany, but it's not legal to publish it. So you can make as many as you want yourself, you just can't publish them.
Yeah.
Cool. So in Australia and New Zealand law is almost the same. You can do it as long as the people don't have any idea that they're likely to be in a private situation. So if they're out in the public street, they're not expecting to be in a private situation, it's perfectly okay. Cool. Oh, well, thanks heaps, Ollie.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Guess what we're back to? Quiz! Who's surprised? And guess what? There's only 2 more, and I promise they're both short. So here comes quiz number 7. I picked this shot for quiz number 7 because, you know, there's light at the end of the path. We're nearly done. Already got some responses coming in. Popular, Ollie. Jesse wants you to come to Argentina. If you're not doing too well on the number of photos question, it's very subjective. Got 11 people responded now. And we're almost out of time for this one. Got 14 people in now. And that's the end of the music. Are people still responding? Because we can, we've got 15 in now, so just while I start to switch over the presentation, we'll probably get a couple more in. There's some more already. So these ones are really subjective. And there's no real hard answers, because if you look in Google's guidance in the user contributed content policy, you won't find anywhere where it tells you how many photos to put on a place or what kind of photos. That's because they tend to leave it up to us. So people, when you, oops, scroll down too far then. When sharing photos of a place, tick all the things that are right. Yeah, they're all pretty good answers there. No one's picked your friends. Yay. Max would have. When you should add an entrance photo. Yep, they're all good answers. They're basically all right, essentially. And there's no wrong answer there too. If you feel like putting an entrance photo on, go ahead and do it. You're not going to hurt anybody. And try and map the size of a place. Now, this one probably catch a few people out. So the department store, 5 to 10. So about half of you are hovering around there. That's what I'd suggest. It's about 5 to 10. You could go a few more if you need to. An enormous place like a national park or a theme park, 20 plus, yeah, no problem. So quite a few people have gone less on those ones. We talked about that. It was actually in the week before last. We talked about the really big places. If you want to get your photos noticed, the only way that's going to happen in those really big places is if you put up a lot. So Yosemite, for example, I think it was something like 10 to 11,000 new photos every day from memory. So if you want to get seen, you need to put up a few. Looking at a medium place, yep, most people have gone with 8, but the other answers either side of 8 are probably okay as well. Public park, 10 to 20. Not many people went with that. Most people have gone lower, 3 to 5. That's interesting. So I would kind of think you could go more, but, there's no wrong answers really. And a railway station, small place, 1 to 3. Yeah, most people seem to have gone there, so that's pretty good. And can local guides add Street View blue lines, level 6 or above, using the Street View app? Yes, you definitely can. So the ones that thought that you couldn't, you definitely can do it. And for the one person that asked, what are the blue lines? Yes. I shall be a little bit careful in going into maps because I'm on my Meet account. So I'll just stop presenting that and I will present the maps window. So normally you just see the roads and the things like that. So if you zoom in, you don't get that much. Now phone's a little bit different, but on desktop you can grab Pegman down here because Pegman's back. And if you drag Pegman onto the map, you see all these blue lines turn up. They're what I'm calling the Street View blue lines. And they're also individual 360 images. So if we drop onto that one, sadly enough, it's going to be someone's house. Look at that. That's not a good place for a 360 really, but there you go. Beyond the napkin. Let me just open him in a new tab. I'll check him out later. But if you go to, there's other kinds of blue lines that you'll see as well. Let me just scroll this map until I find what I'm looking for, if I can. You want to go this way further a bit. Further, 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 further. That should be one there, I think, which is Peninsula Link Trail. And that's the track. I want to come down to this other track down here somewhere. There we go. If I drag him on here, actually they've disappeared again. Oh well. Sometimes you see dotty blue lines as well, but they're not actually visible here. If you look on phone, you'll be able to see them if you look on this trail that runs across here. But not on maps. That's okay. So, guess what we do now? It's our last quiz. Who's happy it's the last quiz? Quiz number 8. There's the link to the quiz in the chat. And this is another short one. It's another nice, simple one. So let's get our sounds going. I couldn't resist some dubstep. already got our first response in. Nearly there, I think. Yeah, maybe I did answer. Got 12 responses in now. 30 seconds to go. I've put the feedback for tonight's form, so if you could have a look at the feedback and tell me what you think of tonight's format. 10 seconds. That'll do. Okay, looks like we've got 19 responses in anyway, so looks like everybody that is doing them's done. And then we're going to talk about next week, because next week's important, because next week is all about you guys. So when we looked at why might you make an image monochrome, they're pretty much all the right answer. There's not really any wrong answers there. My favorite is this is art, leave me alone. Because if anybody challenges you on your art, and I'm talking about your art, so you perceive an image as really good, that means it's really good. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you're asking them for guidance, they might point you at a few things that they think could be better, but they can't tell you your art's bad because there's no such thing. And when it's dark, how do you change the light? Yep, they're all good answers. I like the people who pick pay the power bill. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
And have you had enough of quizzes yet? Look at that. Everybody said yes, but no one got any points. That was mean of me, wasn't it? I didn't actually mean that. Ah, well, that's pretty cool. So I've put the link in for this week's feedback, and I'm about to put in another link, which I will just start the main presentation up again before I talk about it. Now, the other link is a really important one, because next week is our exhibition. And next week, you're absolutely welcome to bring along some food or something to drink or whatever you want to have. I know plenty of people feel free to do that anyway, which is fine, but next week particularly should do it because it is a bit of a party. Now, that link that I've taken you to, and I had to set this up really carefully so I didn't break the local guide's rules about identifying people, because it does ask for your name, but it doesn't collect your email. I worked out how to make it do it. What I want you to do is any shot that you've taken during the course of this set of workshops that you're really happy with for any reason. So remember, it's your art. You're the one that's got to like it. No one else needs to. And it's one of the ones that's made you proud, that you think you look at that shot and you think, wow, I really like that. I want you to submit that one. And I would like you, this is optional though, put in a photo of yourself. So you don't have to put in a photo of yourself if you don't want to. You can skip over that one, or you can just upload a empty square or something like that. And it asks you a couple of questions as well, which not all that difficult, but those questions will be used in the final recap when I put the exhibition up. And what I want to do with the images from the exhibition, next week, each of you will get a couple of minutes to talk about your image and why you like it. And if you want to talk about how you took it or how you made it or whatever, you can certainly do that too. What I'm going to do with them after that is they're all going to go into a Connect post. And we'll have a, it's not really a photo album because it doesn't work quite that way in Connect. It's all single albums in a post, but it will be a Connect post with all of your images in it, and it will be the exhibition from this series. And I think it'll probably get some fairly decent attention, particularly when you tell your friends about it and get them to go and have a look. So it'll be cool. I won't be able to tag everybody in that post because you can only tag 10. And I'm forever telling people off for tagging too many people anyway, so it looks a bit silly if I do it. So has anybody got any questions about the form for next week? Or the questions about tonight? Or anything you'd like to follow up? I think Richard Wong's in Malaysia, isn't he, Ananda? You're muted. You can all unmute, by the way. You don't need to be muted tonight.
No, I think Richard's in Auckland.
Oh, okay, cool. So did you all have some fun tonight? My wife just yelled out no. She's being helpful. I can hear someone's got some babies in the background there. Good to hear.
Yep, let's go.
And what was the last question Shreya asked? Well, it's are all the quizzes finished? Yeah, my cat ran away. You see that? No, we don't need any more cats. It's okay. Christine's offering to get me another cat. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the evening. Some people want to go to bed, and you can hear Christine desperately trying to attract a cat in the background there, just so you can see another cat.
There you go.
This is Fluffy. This cat's really funny. For about a month, she was getting angrier and angrier and angrier at me. Every time I walked past her, she'd growl at me. And I eventually figured out why. I was feeding nearly all the other cats every morning except her because she was only eating at night. So I started feeding her, and now she's happy again. Yeah, well, it's all good. So no questions tonight?
Paul, the one photo that you asked to upload so that should be within this 9 weeks what we have clicked, right? Not the older ones.
Preferably, but if you haven't been able to make something that you're really happy with in this time period, then please upload an older one.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions tonight?
Yes, Paul, I have one question.
Mukul.
Yeah, I am Mukul from Bangladesh. Few days ago, I came to see a post in Facebook that is saying, if you cannot invest in camera, then invest your time on Photoshop. How do you justify?
It's one of those art things. Some people love to change their images in Photoshop, but you don't need to. You might need to do little tweaks here and there to get around the limitations of your hardware or the limitations of your own abilities. But you shouldn't have to do massive edits unless you want to. If you want to artistically change your images, then go for it. But do you have to? No. You'll be able to make good images with any camera.
Thank you.
Yeah, lots of people tend to push the tweak this, tweak that, buy my presets, look at my book. But no, you don't really need to do that. Yeah, you've only got to get up once more, Jesse. I just saw your comment in the chat. Cool. The deadline is before next week's workshop. So if you can get them in before my Saturday, that would be really good because then I can get the presentation pack finished for the workshop on Sunday. So there's only going to be the exhibition, so I don't have to put lots of other effort into it this week. So I'm going to have a bit of a quiet week. Yay! Because I don't know if you guys realize, but it actually takes a full week to put each one of these workshops together from going from one to the next. And that's been a little bit challenging doing 10 weeks in a row. Would I do another workshop series? Yes. Would I do another one 10 weeks in a row? No. It's lots of fun, but it is lots of work. But the good news is, I suppose if I did it again, then I could just use the same slides again.
Oh, no.
But of course, you probably want different people to come. I have been thinking of putting on a shorter series that's more suited to the American time frame, because it's in the middle of the night there, and I've had quite a few people tell me they'd like to come, but you know, they don't want to get up on the East Coast. I think it's 3 in the morning, and on the West Coast now it's about 7 in the morning, something like that. It's only just going 7 now when it's time to finish.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's
They're
very
not
hard.
all like you, Jesse. I tried to get Tracy to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning so she could come, but she wouldn't do it. Surprise. Thank you, Nita. Feliciana, there's a link in the chat. Let me post it again for you. So Feliciana just asked about where is the form to post the link. So for this week, we're not using an album. This week, you're uploading them through a Google form, and that will put them directly into my drive. So be nice with your pictures. And that does associate them with you. So I know who's put what picture in there, so they won't get mixed up. It actually puts your name into the file name, which is kind of cool.
Did you write a script, Paul?
No, I didn't. It actually works through Google Forms. You can upload pictures now.
Oh.
Actually, you can upload any kind of document, but I've restricted it to just pictures.
Yeah, I knew you could, but I didn't know that you could modify the file name.
No, it does it by itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know it did it either. It's kind of a new thing. I think we'll stop presenting so we can see each other. So I can still only see 9 of you, but that's life. Hopefully someone took a few screenshots and put them in the other album that I put up. So I can use them for the recap. And thank you to the people who have been doing that each week.
Hi, Paul. I think you should add the exhibition link in your recap so that we do not forget.
I don't want to put it in the recap because then people who haven't come to the workshops will use it. I don't really want 10,000 photos in the exhibition. I want somewhere between 20 and 50, depending on how many people decide to do it. So if you know people that have come to previous workshops and they're not in this one, you're welcome to send them the link so that they can join in. And anybody that wants to contact me and get the link, I'll send it to them. And they can get me on private message on Connect, or they can get me on Instagram's probably the easiest one apart from Connect, or Telegram if you know my ID. Any other questions? That's good because it's just about bedtime. And for poor Ollie, it's midnight there. It's definitely bedtime for him. And Jess wants to go and have a couple of hours more sleep before she has to really get up.
Exactly.
Even though what is it, 9 o'clock there now?
Yeah.
Cool. All right then. So everybody should unmute, and we'll do our local guides thing again.
Yes.
So if you all unmute, still lots of people muted.
Yeah.
Nice music, Jason. Cool. All right then. So on the count of 3, we will say local guides. And this time we'll say who makes the best photos at all, and you guys can just yell out local guides. So, who makes the best photos of all? Local guide. Did you all forget that bit? So who makes the best photos of all?
Local
Yay! Naturally, I'll cut the video, so only the good bits in there. All right, thank you for coming along, everybody. It's been a awesome journey. We've got one left, and next week is all about you guys. It's not about me at all. It's all about you. So I'm not even going to put a photo into it.
That would be the graduation day, probably.
Indeed. Actually, one of the things I should talk about that it asks about in that form is, do you want a digital certificate? I'm happy to give a certificate of attendance to anybody that came along to that with your picture and name on it.
Can we
So
show that certificate to apply for next Connect Live?
I think you asked, can you show them? Yes. So I'll put them into an album so people can download them after next week, because I'll put your photo on it. So your photo of you and the photo that you submit.
So if you put my photo, then they will not select me, I am sure.
Oh, I think they will. Cool. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along to number 9. We'll see you all next week. Oh, Anya sent her apologies and said that she was sorry she can't come tonight or next week because she's got her kids with her and she wants to spend time with them, which is really cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
We can have a dance party.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah, big party.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.
Enjoy yourselves.
You too.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
Bye, Paul.
See you later. There's only 5 people now.
Yes.
I think Roberto will stay because I'm vaguely convinced he's not actually been there all night because it's just his picture. Oh, well. Have fun, folks. See you later.